Greetings, everyone out there in internet land. My name is Troy Bernier, and this is the Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival. And man, we got a nice little chapter today. This is called Sci-Fi Through Your Lens. And this is where we want to get the opinions of folks on what do they think about science fiction, what do they think about as science fiction, and what should be done about science fiction, and who should we like in science fiction, and who we shouldn't like in science fiction, and why is there so much science fiction? Yeah, there is. Every TV network you turn on, there's a sci-fi show. Whether it's something about somebody with a cooler, whether it's something about somebody with a time chip, whether it's somebody with all of these aliens running around, whether it's somebody just trying to be somebody because they think there's science fiction going on. That's the part that I want to talk about. However, there's a lot of really good science fiction out there. Apple TV, you all are doing a great job. You all are doing a great job. And let's not forget, The Expanse is still out there. There's rumor that they got a project that's about to be greenlit. We want to know about that too. So we're gonna dig in and see what we can find out what's going on about The Expanse and what's going on with Star Trek. How about Star Wars? What's Doomcock saying? That guy is nuts. Anyway, there's so much going on. In fact, we're gonna be talking about this for a long, long time. Not just in this episode, but if you really like this and you're watching us on the Roku channel, we'll keep giving you some more and more and more. Anyway, we got some cool guests here today. Since it's wee hours in the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, we've reached out to the other side of halfway to the other side of the planet, coming to us from, Kenya. How you doing, Willis? Coming to us from.
Hi, Troy. How are you?
Good. Coming to us from Guinea-Bissau. Hey, Sharif, how are you?
Hey guys, nice to see you.
From let me see, Nollywood, Nigeria, Mr. Saibu, how are you?
I'm great. From Ghana.
Wow, this is major. This is major. Okay, we're covering a very large landmass. If I look at the distance between Kenya, you guys got to help me here now. The distance between Kenya and Nigeria, and then Guinea-Bissau. How many square miles are in there? Or maybe square kilometers are in there?
A lot.
It's a lot.
That's the right answer. A lot.
It's a couple of thousands.
That's the right answer.
Nigeria is closer to Guinea-Bissau than Kenya is, but it's a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Matter of fact, if I'm correct, Nigeria is probably closer to the size of Texas, if not bigger. Probably bigger, right?
I think so. I don't know. I'm from Ghana, by the way.
That's right. Oh my God, I blew it, people. I blew it on my the first time I bring one of our stars on. I blew it and said Nigeria.
No,
it's that I'm thinking British and English speaking. My apologies. Yeah. How rude of me. We're talking about Ghana, not Nollywood. Well, listen, what does Ghana call their movie scene? Because Nigeria, they're capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
So what's Ghana saying?
They have, other people have called it Gallywood, but I don't. They don't actually have like a good one. But honestly, like not yet.
You're right about that. You're right about that. So we're gonna call it Mr. Saibu Wood for now, because you're the first guy out there. You're the first guy out there. All right. So if you're the first guy, come on, you're the first sci-fi production coming out of Ghana. And that's called the Batu Project. Matter of fact, we got to get a trailer up sometime and bring that up. And I think Sharif, did you send a trailer as well? And Willis, you got to send a trailer of this. And it needs to be a small one, right? Small trailer that we could easily download and ingest in the system. Archive has sent me something though, so don't worry about yours, because Willis, we have yours. And
mine, I think there's can mine play? I think there's an issue with that one. Let me correct.
No, we got yours, man. We got yours.
Okay.
We got yours here. So yeah. So what's going on with science fiction, guys? Give me your thoughts. What's happening? We'll start with Sharif. What do you think, Sharif? What do you think's going on with the sci-fi genre for 2024? How did it close for you?
Well, it's hard to say. I believe.
Well, let's start off here. Did it make you angry or did it make you happy? That's an easy way to
Well, it
start.
depends. It depends. For the past year, I didn't see any science fiction like, worthy of my, biggest attention, just like Inception was in 2010, you
Uh-huh.
know. But I'm not saying it makes me angry, but I'm hoping that people will get back on tracks because I believe we lost track a little bit of science fiction. Too much politics going on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Too much politics. But isn't science fiction? Science fiction, last I heard, is political.
Yeah.
Can I
you know,
continue?
of course, we're, what?
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna call any shows or anything like that,
Uh-huh.
because in the good old days, what we were expecting to see in science fiction, it's something, that take us out of this reality. It's an imaginary world when anything is possible, but also the beautiful story.
Right.
But now, these days, it's kind of feel like we need to, not us, I mean, but the filmmakers, they need to fill some check boxes, you know.
Right.
So there is no science fiction in the past few years, I would say. Even if I'm watching some shows right now, but they are all from 2018 or something. But I'm trying to find something recent, and it's kind of hard to find a really good one.
Mm.
This is what I think, at least in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have to make sure to we kind of at MCF have said that we want it's not easy to give everybody free
Mhm.
access to films. So because in the virtual festival, the thing with that, we have to pay for bandwidth, right?
Mhm.
And so if everybody watches films, then you have this big bill for bandwidth. So what you're telling me is, we want to give y'all access to really good science fiction because we've got some of the best science fiction there is. Yours films are included in that. So we need to make that more accessible. So I'm gonna go out of my way to make that accessible this week, so you don't get troubled, not be able to watch good science fiction out there. Because we got every year we have surprises. Every year we have gems, and sometimes people get picked up. Every year people get picked up with really good distributors and so forth. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It is Sunday morning here, so yeah, pancakes. Big today. So thank you. So so we're gonna definitely make do with that. But how about you, Willis? What are your thoughts with science fiction? You have the same, you concur?
Well, I think there's on my end, I've seen a bit of growth, but also obviously there's confusion with this superhero movies coming up.
Oh, we got a bandwidth issue. I think Kenya's a little bit too far. Um,
I think there was a confusion with these superhero movies coming up.
okay, okay. That's Marvel and DC, right, guys?
It's a big lag. Let me see what I can do about that.
All right, we'll pause on that one then. But Mr. Sabu, Majid,
Yeah.
tell us what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, personally, I've had a different experience with sci-fi the last year.
Mhm.
Dune Part Two was really cool. I really really loved it. Um, you know, uh, and I love Denis Villeneuve as a filmmaker in general. So that was a highlight for me. And I did check out some shows, but they were a bit. I watch Stargate a lot, so I tend to rewatch Stargate over. Yeah. So I'm going.
Really, this is different, man. This is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
different coming out. Okay, Stargate fan. That's
yeah.
different.
So I rewatched that a lot. Like I'm a huge Stargate fan. You know, but yeah. So for me, it's been cool. Like it hasn't been that wild, and I think there's others that I'm just not remembering. But there were some. I don't know what shows did I watch last year. Let me see. Well, there was one I didn't really like that much, but so I'm not gonna say what it is. But but I did like some other ones, And I watch Star Wars quite a bit, but like I said, I'm looking forward to Andor. Let me say that I'm looking forward to Andor season 2. So
You just hit a major one there. Andor is principle. Okay, Andor is
yeah,
principle, and I say that Andor is principle because if I were to say, man, we're losing a couple people here. Willis just came in twice. Okay, um, what's happening is that Andor, in my opinion, has raised the bar for Star
yeah,
Wars.
yeah.
And we have here RBG Promotions is asking, what is a political sci-fi movie? Well, a political sci-fi series is Andor.
Right.
The politics don't get deeper. Well, actually, they do.
Yeah,
Andor is the most political,
yeah. It's super political, man.
Star Wars has ever been.
Yeah,
It not only is it raises the bar as far as sci-fi politics, geopolitics, because it is geopolitics,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but it
Yeah.
also raises the bar on Star Wars storytelling. The
Yeah.
characters, the twists. There's so many good characters. It's not like it's just Ben,
Yeah. Just well
Luke,
crafted, from all
Han
angles.
Solo, Leah. It has all of these different characters, and it's got all these subplots within them. Whereas in Star Wars, the plot kind of surrounded. It was just this one plot,
Yeah,
and all of these few things going on in this one plot. Whereas Andor, yeah, it is one plot, but there's so many different subplots that are highly expanded. Where what that means is it's easy to create spin-offs,
yeah,
right? So we've got all of these great characters in Andor that we hope you don't kill them all off, but we know they will. Most of them will get
yeah.
killed
They're gonna die.
because that's what happens. But yeah, I left her. But there's a need to spin off these characters. And before I take up too much time here, a great example of that is Ahsoka. Not Ahsoka. What's that last one that people were going crazy over?
Acolyte.
Acolyte. Acolyte. They said was set 100 years previously, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on. If they had set that 1,000 years or 500 years, we could have had a really good 3, 4, 5 different spin-offs because of all of those great characters that we really like.
Yeah.
Instead, they did a Prime, Star Trek Prime, and whacked all these great characters off in the first episode. Really good point. Really good point. I see Stanley twisting his face here. What's
Hey, Troy,
another? Go ahead, man. Don't leave.
do you guys see the show called Dark?
What'd you call it?
Dark, yeah,
Dark.
one of the
Oh.
best shows that has been out in years, man.
It's called Dark. DARK from Netflix.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Tell us more.
the German
Tell us
show.
more about this. Tell us more.
No, it's a nice one, very very nice one that explores this concept of time travel paradox. That basically you cannot change anything that it's already happened. Basically, everything you're gonna do, it's only prove the point that this thing actually happened already. Okay, it's like even when you think that you're trying to change destiny, this is exactly what happened before that led you to this point of thinking that you're going to change destiny. So this was beautiful for 4th season, but in the end, they violate their own rules. I believe they didn't want to finish the show on this closed loop that is endless. So they invented something new that actually you can change reality. But this brings us back to this grandfather paradox. So if you change your grandpa, how can you be born to, or you kill your grandpa? How could you be born to kill him in the first place? So that's what happened in the end of the show. So, but show was actually
give it all away.
brilliant. The show was brilliant. Actually, it was brilliant for 4 seasons, and I believe that actually, for the first time, I'm going to see a show that is very correct on the time travel paradox. Because actually, if you change I don't know how to say it. You remember Star Trek, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek from 2009 called The Future Begins? The new the new Star Trek that started in 2009. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. We were
The
talking
film,
about
the Kelvin timeline, the Kelvin
yeah.
timeline. Remember that?
That's right. That's right. The Kelvin
So
timeline and the prime timeline. Right.
exactly, exactly. What happened to Kelvin timeline? They meant to say that we didn't change the past. We just created an alternate timeline. Okay, so maybe multiverse exists. So maybe that's true. But in the concept or in the universe of the Dark TV show Dark, they didn't invent the multiverse until late third season, season 3 or season 4. They invented this concept of two worlds. But same way, in the same manner, they violate their own rules because they changed the events. So basically, I never existed, you, Troy, never existed, Willis never existed, and so on. That doesn't make sense. If I never
Okay.
existed, how could I even start to change things? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that man, it's funny. I was thinking of an old friend of
It's funny
mine.
because I watched Dark as well,
Oh
but
man.
that's not what I got from the ending.
No, at the end.
That is not what I got from the ending. Because from my
Wow.
perspective, it ended
Wow.
in an actually, it kind of ended back in the way that it would, because the only way to actually change anything was to create a new. That was the message I believe, like it was saying, which is what it did. Like the only way to change was to create, which I believe is also a beautiful sentiment.
Right.
So, but I like the way you saw it. Like, hey man, I like the original concept. I like
Wow.
that. I appreciate that
Wow.
too. But yeah,
Real quick, Sharif. I need the link to the trailer of the film
I think
of The
it's
Last
in.
Survivor. You
The
sent
Last
me a
Survivor.
link to the webpage. Yeah, you sent me a link to this beautiful webpage.
Well, the trailer is somewhere in there. No, just go down. Just go down. You'll see the trailer. You'll see the link.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking and I don't see the link to the trailer.
Go down. Go
In fact,
down.
my Portuguese is really bad.
Go down. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see the thumbnail from the film.
Okay. All right. This is
It
part
says
of the
trailer.
film. This is the film.
No, the film. Go below. Go
I've
down.
got
You'll see multiple videos in the little boxes, and one of them is trailer.
so going on. Let's keep going. So what's another political sci-fi? What's another political sci-fi that could come up with? Let me ask you this question: what do you think about District 9?
Oh, I
That
love that.
comes from
That's
that
very
comes from the
one as well.
that's from the mother continent, right?
I love that a
That's from
lot.
South Africa. That's Neil.
District
That's
9 is
that's
cool. Yeah.
the great work of Neil Blomkamp,
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
it's first.
Right. Neil Blomkamp's record. That's his signature piece. Even though I would not say that's his best piece, I like District 9. I thought it was great, but I also love Chappie. I love Chappie. Chappie was also
Actually, I like Elysium. For
I
some
love
reason.
and Elysium. I love
Yeah.
Elysium. And in fact, he's got a whole suite of short films that he produced. And he has one
Yeah.
with
Oh,
Sigourney
definitely.
Weaver in it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oats something.
Yeah,
I
Oates.
forgot.
That's the Oates project. That's right. That's right.
Guys, what do you think about what was the name when Denzel's son stars? What was the name? The Creator.
Tenet.
What do you guys
Tenet.
think went wrong on the Creator?
Oh, he's already
Tenet
saying something's
or the
wrong.
creator.
Lewis has got a real twisted face. You got something to say, Lewis? Willis, you got something to say?
No, no,
You
no, no.
look twisted, man. He's like, what are these guys talking about?
I've not watched that one. Yeah. What else?
Well,
Yeah, that sounds like
yeah,
creator.
the creator, the creator is visually
Yeah,
it
that's the
was
one with the robot
yeah,
kid, the robot girl.
I
yeah.
can
You know what?
I can help you right there. I can help you there.
You know what the creator was like to me? The creator was like somebody wanted to make a Halo movie, and instead made the Halo backstory and then change the topic of the film.
Yeah.
You know,
I have a different theory. I
tell
believe
me.
the AI wrote the film.
Ooh,
I don't I don't
ooh,
I don't have any proof though, but I believe
ooh,
the AI wrote the film because
ooh.
the scenes in the movie just doesn't they don't make sense at all. You know, there's a scene of they hiding this little girl, robot girl. She's wearing the cap or hat or something. She's in a van with a bunch of kids, human kids. And somehow the police stops them to search the van. They are protected humans, right? And then they asked the girl to take off the cap. They got scared and they, hit the gas, run away with the van. And the police that protects humans start shooting into the van full of kids. I mean, what human will do that? So it
Right.
makes sense in the action film, right? So that sounds like something AI would do. That makes sense in this action film. So there is a block post, the check in, something goes wrong, and they hit the gas and run away. But it doesn't make
Right.
sense in the moral standpoint. You
Right.
think of it like
Right.
what's going on, and many things happen during that film in the same manner. They just make sense in a way of action film. Like this is something we used to see in action film, but they don't add up in the film entirely. You see the end in the end of the movie, some random scene happens with some random woman. Jesus, I mean, I believe
Yeah.
AI wrote this film. I don't know if it's true, but that's my thought.
Yeah. And of course, this guy here, RGB, he won't stop. So he's asking, what is bad about political science fiction? Well, well, what do
I
you
don't think
think,
there's anything bad
RGB?
about it, to be
RGB, what
honest.
do you think is bad about? We'll ask him. What do you think is bad about political science fiction? Um, you know,
What is bad about political?
yeah. What's bad about politics? I guess is sort of like that saying. You know.
No, I didn't mean politics, like actual politics, because in science fiction we used to politics, like in 1984, for example. It's
Right.
actually a dystopian world. I don't know if it qualifies as science fiction, but anyways,
Hmm.
it's a dystopian world, maybe in the near
Right.
future or something, that is
Right.
talking about politics. Well, that's
Right.
cool. Even V
Right.
for Vendetta, okay? We have a dystopian future when we talk about politics. Okay, that's cool. But
Right.
what I meant to say with politics is actually not this kind of politics in the film, but rather to trying to please everyone. So we forget the story to tell, but rather we focus on something like ideological. And me, not to call names, but to me, it sounds like we're losing the track of science fiction. Like Matrix, it was a beautiful story about man and machine, humans, and AI and stuff like that. But today
Right.
it sounds like, we need to fill some agenda to please everybody. So there is no science fiction, especially from 2019 going forward, in my opinion.
Mm.
I
Wow.
think I think I have an idea of maybe, especially I think what you're trying to say is especially when it comes to the diversity, all that thing. So where you find characters are placed in films at times not really adding to the story, but just as you said, fulfill an agenda. And that I know that has been an issue. Like even in Kenya, people are reviewing this and saying, for example, maybe a character didn't have to be gay, for example, for the story to thrive. But now they've tried to bring in this gay character, uh, almost what they're talking about now, DEI or something. So I know it that can be the political thing I've noticed with a lot of films, and I know it's taking away from the storyline. It's taking away from even what the film is trying to achieve at times. So you find it's almost like guys are just placed in a story to fulfill, as you're saying, an agenda. I think that's what Stanley you're trying to talk about, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm. 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 So, what about? Here we go. He says that he accepts your answer.
Those are both our answers. Okay, great.
Wow, wow. Um, we're gonna do a little different here because he appears to want to narrate the show. We've asked him to be part of the festival, but he doesn't want to, show up. So what do they think of the announcements of Black Panther 3 and Children of Blood and Bone? What do you think about these topics? And I'm gonna step back for a few seconds while you're doing it.
I'm gonna let someone go first. So.
Who wants to go first? I have
Willis, go first.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. I've not gone through the whole Black Panther 3, what they're looking to do, so I may not be able to comment a lot on that. I think Black Panther in general is a good, it's a good. Last year when I was at the festival, I remember I was talking about Afrocentrism, Afrofuturism, and the African futurism. So, as an Afrofuturism film, I think that's very good. So I'd like to see what that would be. I'm happy for any Black Panther movie on my end. Just the storyline is what I probably want to see where they take it from where it ended last time. Maybe that would be my comment.
Yeah. Me, also, I'm also excited about Black Panther 3. I've heard that they're also looking to recast, so hopefully we'll see about that, But the other one, Children of Blood and Bone, I wish them all the best.
Well, maybe expound a bit.
Well, I didn't get to read a lot about the last two, but the Black Panther 3, I saw the announcement. Don't know. I thought it was some sort of internet joke. But in case it's real, okay, it's beautiful. Okay, mainly because of the theme that it explores. Yeah. I love this Afrofuturistic science fiction. Funny story to tell you guys. I once argued online with some guy. I have a group on Facebook when we share this Afrofuturistic style stuff. Well, some dude shared an image of a woman standing in the castle in some different planet, and she sees like a spaceship landing in this desert planet, like Dune. It vibes like Dune. And everybody was amazed because he's a guy just like us. He doesn't have this big Hollywood budget, but he managed to do it with visual effects, a very beautiful shot. And one guy, African like us, he commented like, hey, this is not African reality. All of these flying machines, all of this Wakanda stuff, this is not our reality. And everybody, of course, as you can imagine, just killed him in comments. I was like, man, it's called imagination. That's why we're here. We're talking about Afrofuturism. It's a future. It's imagination. He was like, no, it's not our reality. I say, okay, there's a movie camera is African reality, and everybody laughed. Look, So basically, it's beautiful when you make this kind of movie like Black Panther. It's beautiful because it makes us, think differently on the possibilities, not only of what we see every day, but in something else. It's cool.
I think especially for maybe the three of us who have delved in the sci-fi as films, it does help because at one point sci-fi had really died. So like even when I did mine was a short film. When I tried to take it to cinemas, I mean, always you would find a challenge. People do not believe that Africa can produce such things, and they probably think even if we do produce, it will be very low quality, no impact. So for us, at least when you have Black Panther, it does bring guys back to that realm of sci-fi is interesting, and so when it does help probably give us some momentum when we are ready to put ours out. But it does also challenge us because then they go like, okay, unless it's like Black Panther level, I don't want to watch. I don't know if it's the same in Ghana and in Guinea-Bissau, but in Kenya, for example, unless something is accepted outside, really,
It's
it's like
exactly the same
the
in
prophet is not
Ghana.
accepted at home, you know.
It's exactly the no, but
Africa.
yeah, when we
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
started
same
doing,
thing. Let me share a story. Let me share a
when we
story with
started,
you guys.
yeah, when we started,
When I was
yeah, when
go
you
ahead, go ahead.
okay. When we started doing the Batu project, by the way, it took us 5 years to do it. And when we started, if another filmmaker friend of mine was like, "Yo, don't even waste your time, man. Like this, it's not gonna work." You know, and then throughout the process, there was a lot of times where a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, this is just, this is never gonna come out," and all these type of things. And even there, I feel like there was even some crew and cast who kind of like were like, "Yeah, this is done. It's never happening," you know. But then we just persevered and kind of made sure that it did. And I think that to bring it back to that question that the lady, the person, I don't know if it's a lady or a guy, who asked about the reason I'm apprehensive about Children of Blood and Bone is because I've noticed that whenever when they try to do African fantasy from outside of Africa, right? They miss so many like little nuances. You get me? Where it's really just like it paints like a they're blackwashing a what they know to be fantasy from that side of the world anyway. So it's like they just attribute it to Africans now, So that's the thing that I'm like. I hope they take the attention because we love Black Panther because they did take a lot of attention to sort of figure out a few cultural nuances that they know we will care about as Africans, you know. So that's my thing about it. But yeah, it's the struggle is real for African sci-fi filmmakers, man.
Troy, are you getting this?
Sorry about that. I have to mute my microphone because a lot of times when you talk, the feedback comes in and it cuts you out. So if you're not talking, go ahead and mute your microphone. That will help out
I
the audio as well. But uh, and not to put everybody in a zero budget project, but that is what happens when there are visible, sensory noticeable uh, features about a film, which could be audio. But of course, if your audio is anyway subpar, usually that disqualifies the film. If a project is sent in, which comes under a title of still in production, right? The film is still in production, and we see that in the notes, we will tend to interact. Of course, we like the film, right? If we like it, we'll interact and say, hey, you sent us something that's not completed. What do you intend to finish? Sometimes they tell us what they are that they're still working on. And what also this means is that that gives the filmmaker an opportunity to make their film good enough where it's already likable, but they've made their film even better. That helps the film out, not just with our festival, but more than likely they're going to probably get accepted in other festivals too, because they now recognize that there are parts of the film that need improvement, and the film has not even been released yet. And guess what? This happens all the time, everywhere. Okay, especially on any kind of big budget projects, because they'll screen garbage in a theater full of people to get feedback, and then go back and remake the whole freaking film. That's happened a lot, more than we are told. So I think that's one of the wonderful things that film festivals offer filmmakers. Why I think filmmakers should research and understand the film festival process. Um, Without that, yeah, you're taking even a greater crapshoot without that. Because at the end of the day, you want everybody to watch your film. But if the film is only pleasing to you, what is that going to be? Right? You're going to have this fan club with just you in it, and there are a lot of films that are like that on TV networks right now. A lot of films like that. And what tends to happen is more of the Simpson ideology, which we called. Let's see. Willis is shaking his head. I think Willis knows what I'm talking about. There's certain parts of the world that have been colonized to some degree of Germans. So there's some Germanic language, language that's infiltrated or ideology and understanding. And that word that I'm talking about, let me get it right here, because if I mispronounce it, you're really going to get on my case today. It's called Schadenfreude or something like that. It's called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. And Schadenfreude is pleasure derived from the misfortune of others. That's the entire Simpson ideology. That's the entire South Park ideology. Over here, we got a country full of that. Okay? So that's not a good thing at all. At all. And much of social media, all of these networks, the most money is made on celebrating the misfortune of others. That's what it's come to. I didn't want to take us there, but what we do against that, the opposite of that, is we provide a venue for low budget content. We call it zero budget. We try to be nice and say zero budget instead of low budget, because when someone hears low budget, they think of that as a very negative thing. I think zero budget is a more positive spin on it. That's where you literally don't have much at all, and you decided to make a film, and it's good and worthy to be seen. Okay, so I think that there's great content out there. This festival is a testament to that. You all hear, Mr. Saibu, Willis, Sharif, who I always call Stanley. I really think that there's great content out there. In fact, let's just show a little tiny clip here. Let's put Willis on the line here, because he was the first. The festival went out of its way and say, hey man, I wonder if there are any films. What's going on? And we're hearing all about this Afrofuturism. Let's put a signal out. Let's see what comes out. And look what happened the first year we did this. This is a while back too. Listen, watch this.
How much of a reduction are we talking?
About 60%.
60%? Are you kidding me?
We saw how far we could reach when we were divided.
Do you have any kind of documentation on this painting?
We have just sampled how far we can reach when we are united.
Precisely. Think of this painting as the Mona Lisa in the Louvre.
Now, we have a unique opportunity to see the full extent of what we can achieve when we combine all our efforts as the 7 spheres of the new republic.
I believe that this was the vision that the founders of the new republic had in mind, where the 7 spheres pulled together to help a nation achieve her goals.
See, this is what happens when you rush deployment without exhaustive testing.
Who do these Kipsa guys think they are?
Now, fellow Kenyans, join me as we usher in this new vision.
No.
Man, what year was that? Willis?
2019.
No, 2019. Wow, that was a while back. That was a while back.
This movie is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece.
That took me back, folks. Let me tell you something. I'm a little dating myself here, but let me show you one. I can't really change the scene, but the scene in the film where the two primary characters were walking in the museum, that is direct inspiration from Spike Lee's movie Malcolm X. There's a scene, really happened. Is what really happened in during that. I think that was the late 50s, maybe in the late 50s, where Malcolm X met the woman that eventually became his wife. They were dating, and they were at the Museum of Natural History in New York. And there are photos of this. There's photography of that really happening. And when I saw this, I said, oh, because Spike Lee recreated it in his film. And I'm from New York City, so I'm a huge fan of the Museum of Natural History, and it still looks the same as it did in the 50s. At least it did when I was there. Not to say I'm dating myself again, but I said, oh my goodness, this guy he's got some major inspiration going on. He's communicating a ton of stuff. And then, of course, you see in the film where it covers, and correct me if I'm wrong, Willis, but you talked about the seven pillars of...
Yes, 7 spheres of society.
7 spheres of society, which also translates to a lot of historical, cultural context on how human beings have to live. And I want to say even in Kwanzaa, which is celebrated in the United States, I think is based on some of these principles, if not all of them. That's what I said, man, this film is deep. This is deep. and we had a good time. We had a real good time that year. That was quite impressive. Quite impressive. We had some alumni that came in from Norway. That was what's his name from Norway? I just reached out to him because he won an award last year, and he has yet picked up his award. He's like, oh, I was away. I don't know what they do in Norway, but certain times of the year they just fall off the face of the earth and go into the hinterland. It's
winter.
Yeah, be Vikings or something, raiding parties, killing seals. I don't know what are they doing over there, but we'll have to drag him in. Maybe I'll have to take a trip to Oslo during the summer months when things green up a bit and put a microphone in front of him. But yeah, it's an interesting piece, done very well, Willis. It got a lot of views out there in the world, and in my opinion, you set the bar, which is sending a lot of great content out there as a result. So thank you.
And we thank you. The festival was impactful to us, as we said. As I said before, once you accepted outside, when you came back, we started winning festivals here as well. So
they started giving you the red carpet. So instead of making you enter through the back, they said, "Nah, bring this guy through the front door here. He's gonna make us look good."
Thank you very much.
Same thing happened to Sharif, right? Right? What happened to you, Sharif? I'm still waiting.
No, nothing. Nothing happened to me.
I damn sure can't read some of the stuff here. And I need to get your trailer. You did make a trailer, didn't you? I know your film is it is a short, but you did make a trailer, right?
Yeah. Do you have access to my page on my SciFi? No.
You're asking me to do things that I just can't do at this time.
Did you find it? No.
No. Oh, real quick, Dan Othelio signed in and looked at it and said hi. He said, "Good to see you, Willis." Dan Othelio is one of the stars in Katambo. He's because we're also broadcasting this on Instagram live. It's going through on Instagram. So if you tell your people out there to see you on Instagram, we're there right now. So, yeah, that's right. And I'm going to re-push this out on TikTok. So I still have TikTok app. I'm going to push it up there.
Not yet banned.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, man. So Oh, we're supposed to have a trailer for the Batu project. Where's our trailer for that? Mr. Saibu, help me. I'm looking for our trailer. So while we're waiting for the trailer to come in, we have some news, right? Let's go to our news, and one of the articles says hard science fiction exists to push the boundaries of the imagination in a very specific way. I'm gonna read this out to you guys. What some authors like to do is that they like to create biology that's very different to that on Earth, where life goes a total different way. Hard science fiction like loves to press on what we know is truth into things that go beyond truth or defy truth. And of course, the easiest thing is travel, right? Travel through time. So people tend to.
I put the trailer in the chat.
Got it. People travel through time, and through time travel or traveling at very high speeds, light speed, and when they travel at these very high speeds, that defies Einstein's theories of relativity in space and time. So in those, wait a second. I'm sorry. Guess what? Okay. What happens in a situation like that is people say that's not possible to travel faster than the speed of light. So someone tells you, sci-fi creators, that someone tells you that it's impossible to travel faster than the speed of light. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them when they say something like that to you? I'm real interested to know. I'm real interested to know how you would respond to that.
I mean, it might be impossible, but where we come from is what if it wasn't? You get me? As sci-fi creators, like no matter what it is, the quote unquote reality is, our prerogative is okay. But what if it wasn't possible to do it? And that's where our stories come from. That's where we're able to sort of extrapolate what we think might happen, and each of us comes at it and finds something different each time. That's why there's so many different types of those like sci-fi, time travel films, so many different multiversal concepts and all those things, because it's all our whole thing comes from the imagination and the what if. That's kind of where we thrive, not what is. Of course, there's we do well when we use what is to make the argument for what could be. It makes it stronger. So some of the films that we watch where they are realistic, like when we watch Arrival, that's another really powerful one. And they kind of try to make it realistic into, okay, if we meet people that we don't, who kind of develop completely different, we're not just going to be able to talk to them, immediately, right? We're going to have to go through some processes to make that possible. And that's what makes it interesting, So that's the answer. What if?
Okay. Sharif, Willis? You muted yourselves. What do you want to say?
About FTL? Well,
yes. What do you?
Can you guys hear me?
What do you? Yeah, we could hear you fine. What do you think, Sharif?
Well, I was watching just yesterday a documentary about a possible faster than light travel, possible, but I didn't watch that today till the end because it's a huge argument. But anyways, I believe in what we say a space warping, like in Star Trek or like jet ski. Okay, so it kind of creates an illusion that we will travel faster than light when indeed we will just warping the space. So you will be traveling from one point to another very fast without even traveling the middle. So creating, the warp space. One thing. But besides that, for a particle with the mass traveling faster than light, well, we will be hitting division by zero. So I don't know how to respond to that. But to create FTL travel, maybe only, I believe, is this illusion of jet ski, like pulling the space in front of you and, to bend it. So you will be like making this jump. Maybe something like that is possible. Maybe, I don't know.
I knew I should have made him answer that last. But Willis, because I'm going to say something about it. But go ahead, Willis.
No, I do agree with Sharif, because that's actually what we, in our story, had to do jumps. So like, from point one to the next, it wasn't like you're really moving very fast in space, but it was doing those multiple jumps. Like they say, I think it's even in Interstellar, right? When they talk about get the fastest way to 2 points is, like you can do the curve or something. Yeah, so that's the only way I would actually conceive it. But I know it's also agreeing with Saibu is it's true. We also have to have that element of fiction coming in, because the idea is to really tell a story. And if I want to say, I'm interstellar, I'm not within the solar system, I've gone like to another star system. I mean that story, we have to bend a few of the physics to create that story.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're millions of thousands of light year away, how would that communication be? When you're talking with people back here, probably it would be crazy jumps that have happened. But we have to like bend that theory there to tell the story we need to tell, and
Right.
which I think it's the only way. That's why the fiction element of this science fiction comes in.
Yes, very, very good, very good. And I have to say, your jacket is very sci-fi. It's very Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica, the way the design is. So, very good, very, very good. I've got to get something like that. I'm looking so retro here with this. But anyway, very good points, gents. And I'd like to say that what you're telling me, especially Sharif, what you're saying, that and Willis, you kind of concurred with him on this. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, but at the end of the day, the mathematics that we use to explain the universe in our three-dimensional, four-dimensional perspective. Other ways of doing this, I think, are going to come from another set of mathematics. Another set of mathematics are going to have to be introduced in order to challenge what we're seeing, right? So challenge that constraint. That's how I see it. And what does that mean? Well, we're going to have to figure out, because we're very finite beings. We're going to have to figure out how to bend time, how to utilize, how to do that. And in my opinion, energy is the source, is one of the main contributors in that. And we see that when it comes to energy, because energy also is dependent on mass, right? So we observe in the celestial space in the cosmos, we observe the distortion of time and space based on mass. So if we're able to control some of these parameters in greater amplitude, we're going to be able to manipulate these dimensions that we observe much more at a let's say with less constraints, and to the point of perhaps even bypassing them, right? Bypass them, where you can kind of say when your equations, when we're doing these mathematical equations, oh yeah, we assume this, we assume it's zero, we assume it goes to infinity, these kinds of things. So the math has to change. And guess what? The math has changed a lot of times in the past, the way we do things, right? We've heard before that it was impossible to break the sound barrier. And why did we say that? Because people tried to do it, and with their know-how, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Things happened. And it wasn't until we did something and we're able to do it. Man can't fly. Not man, but humans can't fly, right? Humans couldn't fly for 100,000 years, 200 millions of years, until something happened and we learned a new way to do it. Same thing with space. Same thing with people being sick and not sick, and curing illnesses or whatever. So it's all a matter. For me, it's just a matter of time. No pun intended. That we'll be able to do some of these things. So that's my take on that. So let's Oh, she sent me something here. So let's take a look at what do you? Oh, we have another trailer. Let's look at Mr. Saibu's trailer here. This is the Batu Project, folks. This is a new film from Ghana that's in the virtual festival that just started last night. It's real easy to be involved in the virtual festival to watch the films. You can go to the VCF page, pay there. This is the old way. You pay, and then what will happen? The team will send you a username and password for you to log in through Roku. Or you go to your Roku and you just make the order there, and it's done. It's easy, very simple. So that's one way. Those are the two ways that you can watch the films. And I think there's a few dozen on there now, and after today, more will be added. More added every several days as we get to the end of the festival, which will end around February 16th. But anyway, let's go on with this trailer, The Batu Project.
Do androids dream of electric sheep? No, I can't say that in a way. Manya, kake, he bubunam.
Yeah, Star Wars Day. I say that plague is the white and qua.
Medi, mia day.
How did we get this far? So far from home, with an immeasurable desire to invent, to explore, and to discover. Every discovery, there are risks. There is sacrifice, and there are consequences.
Scan it.
Calm down, Adam. You all know things.
Not virtual reality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feature film length. New hurdle. Okay. Good job. Now, feature film. That's tough.
Thank you.
It's tough to maintain the consistency, and that's one of the secrets to why you have to shoot so much content. Good job, good job. So, this again is another great example of good storytelling using a very different landscape that a lot of eyes are used to seeing. I've expressed many, many times, especially to a lot of people in the room here, that use your outdoor environment, because I guarantee you it's going to be very different to the eyes that will be judging your film. I like that. Tell him. Doesn't look like that everywhere in the United States, I'll tell you that. Okay. So take advantage of that. Neil Blomkamp is successful because his films have a very different spin. They somewhat typical stories, but the story is told through a different lens. Okay, and this is what we're also witnessing with the Russell Bates Awards, with films that come out of the indigenous communities of the world. They're being told through a different lens. It's the same kind of story, but it's told differently. So it has a different perspective, a different spin, and it looks different, feels different, tastes different, sounds different. And science fiction is a great way to do it. It's a great platform to do this on, because those people those eyes are dying to look at something different. They want something different, something dynamic and different. They want that. So, good job. So, gents, do you have any news that you'd like to share? What's going on in the sci-fi world around you? Any news? Any news out there?
Oh, nothing big, but we are doing pre-production for our next film. So, so that's news, I guess. But
you guys are awesome. You need to be in Hollywood.
Thank you. And we might be going to Cannes in May for Pavilion de Afrique.
Look at that! Awesome. And you said in what pavilion?
Pavilion de Afrique, the African pavilion.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I highly recommend
that.
Say that again, Willis.
I was saying congrats on that. Very good. I like the trailer.
Thank you.
Costume and everything, and also the special effects. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, there will be sort of a part 2 to this, where we're going to talk more about Mr. Sabu's film next week. We're going to really scrutinize his work. So you'll have the opportunity to see the film prior, Chance, Sharif, and Willis.
There might be one other
So Mr. Sabu he's gonna have to have his compadres lined up to help explain what in the world did you do this and why did you do that. So you get your grilling.
I would love to hear what other African filmmakers think about it and stuff. And I want to see you guys' films as well. I'm yet to see Sheriff's trailer, but I'm already excited just from the way his outlook on sci-fi, and I can't wait to see Itambo. Like that is very cool. That looks so cool to me, man. Like I'm very into it.
Well, my trailer doesn't say much, but anyways, you will see it.
It's a short. It's uploading now. So
it's a short, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's uploading now, so we're gonna show it in a.
Cool.
So, can I add just something political?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I almost made it. I need.
Yeah, go ahead, Sharif.
Yeah,
go ahead. You said you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yes. Can you guys hear me? No, you guys are extraordinary. You guys, congratulations to both of you. Well, this is something we wish would be done more often in Africa, stuff like that. Especially, can I spoil that I've seen Kid or no, or should I?
That's okay. I think I know you've
Well,
watched it.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful story. Let's leave it for next week, but we will talk about it or something. I will.
We're going to show you a trailer now, but right now we're going to show just a couple short trailers, and at the end, we're going to show your trailer in that loop. Okay. So, folks, we're going to watch about 3 to 5 minutes of trailers. Here we go.
Leo, do you know where grandma's books are?
We are Anonymous. We created Money Virus, a contagious virus program that eliminates money. The first target is Handul, the Korean channel.
这是一个由资本推动的世界。你说说看，咱们的团队精神是什么？
富贵穷通在于己。
富贵穷通取决于你自己。
现在经济太平这件事，它本应该遭赔的，甚至应该到墙底。
把有关媒体全部直接封杀，你给我绕过平台，直接侵入进去。
人民最喜欢看到负面情绪，这让他们觉得很正义。我觉得今天正是一个真相。所以是爱情的问题吗？
爱情不会有问题吗？
可是换一个门
会不断给你灌输发财梦，让你变得越来越贪婪。
金钱病毒的发明者用了一切的有为老板打败金钱病毒。
所有男人都会想要杀掉那个财阀，自己取而代之。
Lundi 15 janvier, 9352e jour du gouvernement Bioki. 9352 jours d'une paix totale, assurée par notre président. Le monde a perdu sa saveur, mais les gens semblent en sécurité. À quel prix ? C'est comme si je m'étais réveillé. Je leur ferai payer. J'arrive.
I wanted to personally congratulate you on being one of the artists selected.
I actually got into this program at the Smith Institute. All I ever wanted was to paint beautiful pictures that made people feel. But how can I do that if I feel nothing? I'm fine. I may as well be a robot. You're very special to me, don't you?
High priority. An illegal avatar has been detected in our City 3 simulation. A full investigation has been launched.
There's things that you don't know.
Any interactions with AI during this confidential intelligence research will be met with instant dismissal and criminal proceedings.
People don't break up when they love each other.
Sit down.
Alguien no vi. Si thinking ko no bien borush punde.
Wow, wow, wow. No pun intended with the Wolof. Wow, 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 wow. However, man, what a great set of shorts. I hope you like those trailers, guys. You like those trailers?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Pretty good. The last one was Sharif's.
Yeah, I noticed. Awesome job, man.
What was the language that she was speaking on the microphone? I want, because I know a little bit about Guinea-Bissau. I worked over there doing an amazing survey with my wonderful team led by Reginald Spiller, and we were in Senegal, and then we went to Guinea-Bissau, and we did a job for the National Oil Company over there. What was the name of the oil company? Sharif? What was the name of the oil company in Guinea-Bissau? You're muted.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. You were muted. Yes.
Well, I hear you like 2 by 5.
No, I said what was the name? What was the name of the National Oil Company?
It's Petrogin.
That's right, Petrogin. Petrogin.
Yes.
Was a job we did for Petrogin in the Basagros. No, not the Basagros. What is that area called? It's a UN, United Nations area. Those 80-something islands. The Basagros Islands.
I can hear you clearly. Can you increase the volume?
Yeah. Can everybody else hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
They can hear me.
Yeah.
They can hear me.
Okay.
So we were asking what was the name of the islands. I can bring it up. The name of the island.
Bijagos Islands. Bijagos.
Bijagos.
88 islands and islets.
That's right. But my question was, what in the trailer we watched, in your trailer, what was the language the star was speaking in?
Okay, it's Portuguese. It's some sort of a derived Portuguese that we speak locally. You can say it's Creole language, but it's almost Portuguese.
So that we call that a Portuguese Creole, and it's a Portuguese Creole
yes,
because
yes.
it contains several of the indigenous dialects mixed with the colonial dialect.
Yeah.
Which is no different than Haitian Creole. Haitian Creole.
Yes, something like that. Yes.
It's a blend of the colonial dialect, which is French, plus numerous different African dialects. And the reason why I know that so well, my better half, her family's from Haiti, and she's fluent in Creole. And I was living in Spain, in the Balearic Islands. A lot of the local people, they all speak the local dialect, which is not Spanish. It's not Castilian. It's Mallorquin, and Mallorquin is a derivative of Catalan. And she said, sound like they're speaking French. She thought some of the word. She said some of the words were French, which is a spin-off of the Catalan and a spin-off of, you know. And believe it or not, it'd probably get political just for saying all of that. Anyway, so one of the other trailers that you saw, there was a trailer called Money Virus. And Money Virus, man, I highly recommend watching that. I've never seen a political science fiction like that come out of China. That was pure political science fiction. And I think it was released because the story is supposed to be set in Korea. It's supposed to be set in Korea. So this is a new type of sci-fi where they're making a film not about what's going on in China, but what's going on in some other country. You know, sort of like what we do over here, you know, in the United States. We'll make a sci-fi film of what's going on in somebody else's country. They're doing that what's going on in someone else's country. So it's a good film, great acting. It's a long short. Long short in our definition is that's anything more than 20 minutes long is what we call a long short. I think that film is close to 30 minutes long, maybe 29. And it's when films are done really well like that, those are like, if it's done well, it's like a feature film. Like Escape Attempt, which we're not going to show the trailer, folks, but Escape Attempt, which won Best Sci-Fi Short. That film is done very, very well. They've asked us not to participate in the virtual because the film is, they're actually about to greenlight, and I don't know if he didn't say I couldn't say it, but he said they're about to greenlight. They're in the planning process of the feature. So I can understand, all of this. But a very good film. If you could, at your festival somewhere in planet Earth, and that film is playing, don't miss it. It's a great film. I think we lost a couple other folks here, guys. Let's see here. Gnu says hi. How you doing, Gnu? Good to see you. Good to see you, Gnu. Are there any other? I know we're running out of time here, folks. We're running out of time. So, any last words? Any last words? Science fiction, sci-fi last words.
So yeah, for me, we're still in development also for our own feature, but it's we're not rushing it because we need to raise some good funding for it, and so we are focused on the story. When we did Kitambo, we didn't initially work. The idea wasn't a story. I think I've said it before. Maybe for the guys here, I might not have heard of it. Kitambo was a proof of concept, and so we just created a simple story to try and test whether we could actually be able to shoot the film. And so the story, we had to fix the story later, more or less, so that at least we could put it out to festivals. And so the idea wasn't even putting it to festivals. So now we are focused now on the story because we want to do a proper feature film. And I think I'm seeing here a question on social media handles.
Yeah, please share your social media handle.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where we are right now. Just working on the story again, and planning on how to get the funding to eventually shoot the feature. And it's great meeting the other newer, the new African futurism films that have made it to the festival, and we're really happy with Batu Project. That was very interesting also in what Sherif has done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's some great, awesome dialogue, and the Batu Project has done very well. It's a film that's going to make you zoom in, man. So, Majid, I know your batteries are going on your phone. Share your social media profile because folks need to know.
Right. It's
follow you.
Yeah, on Instagram it's at mjeed, which is EMJEED. EMJEED. And then on Twitter is msaibu1. That's it. That's at mcyber1 because I think someone took regular mcyber already. So so I'm now mcyber1.
Okay. We'll definitely cover this next time, and I'll try to make it a point for people to, will you say executive producer, or will you have Willis put your profile there, so when people see your name, they see that in the name or that in the profile or whatever. But it'll just make it easier going forward. All right, gents.
Awesome.
I thank you so much. I thank you so much for this, and we'll see everybody again later next time. I think this has been an awesome episode. If you want to stay, gentlemen, please stay for a couple minutes after. Okay, please stay for a couple minutes after we're closing out. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a really good episode of Through the Lens, Sci-Fi Through Your Lens, and we look forward to the next episode, which will be at the later half of the festival. And if you want to hear more about this talk, you can go here or you can go here. But there will be another deep dive into the Batu project next week. All right, till the next time.
Do androids dream of electric sheep? No, I can't say that in a way.
Medi Emma.
Manya. Kake, bubunam.
Yeah, Star Wars Day. And say that Blake is the wise and qua.
Medi, mia day.
How did we get this far? So far from home, with an immeasurable desire to invent, to explore, and to discover. Every discovery, there are risks. There is sacrifice, and there are consequences.
Scan it.
Calm down, Adam. You are no friends.